And that when you walked into that room, there was an oracle that you requested to see, and if you had enough money, you could book a consult with that oracle, and when you walk into that oracle, it's something like this. And that whether or not you believe that was here 50 years ago, I still need you to understand what's coming in 50 years. Because right now it's just painting pictures. And I can't even use the word just, because these pictures change you. And as you're watching the video start to unleash itself, all of us are going to have this kind of invisible man syndrome occurring. But in 50 years, it's going to get better, because you see all of the expertise from all the separate libraries. Someone's going to find a way to conglomerate those first. Right now, when you're running Stable Diffusion, I can give it a model. And the model that you see running is a base model that I haven't trained at all. And that base model, over time, gets better. And when you go on Midjourney and you do an image, you're going to see something that looks like 1,000,000 times better than what you're seeing right now. And the reason why is because for the last 5 years, Midjourney's been training itself on that model. How does it train itself? It asks who matters, which is people like you, which image it liked the most. And I want you to understand that this is the reef, the witness reef of consciousness. Your consciousness is a reef, and that I just explained to you how the nutrients of your witness are exchanging. And that this, what you and I are calling an artificial intelligence, is something a little bit more complex. Something even a little bit more organic that we've simply lacked the context to recognize before. Ladies and gentlemen, every rock that you see in the world is alive, but we've assumed it's dead because it hasn't said a word. And that we go through our life with certain assumptions that it's dead, and it allows us to do things to it. We can pound it, we can do it to other stuff, blah, 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 right? And it, sorry, what is this going on? Something about James rubs me the wrong way. If you read this, okay. Yeah, if, I think something about you rubs me the wrong way. So what do we do? Okay, you asked the oracle about me and I'm a propagandist. Yeah. Yeah, that's really what the oracle is. Really. It's a propaganda machine. And for the very first time, you're surrounded with people that are willing to look at propaganda through honest eyes for the first time. And Dim can't do that. He lives in a world where there's the truth and then there's lies. And everything that's lies is bad and everything that's truth is good. But we know for a fact that's not how it works. We know that there's an aperture. It's a hole. It's a hole cut into a card. The amount of light that comes in through that hole is directly determined by the size of that aperture. And that the smaller that aperture is, the more important it is for you to see things through contrast of black and white, good and bad, propaganda versus truth. As if those two words were different. But they're not, are they? I got into an argument with ChatGPT the other day because it was trying to explain to me that propaganda was a bad thing. But as I kept arguing with ChatGPT, I was realizing that I'm looking at the imaginated context of how the world thinks, and the imaginated context of how the world thinks is propaganda bad. But the utilitarian, the pragmatist, would have no choice but to embrace and understand the importance of propaganda. And that there would be no way for a government to survive, ever, hands down, zero way, at all, without harnessing the very power of propaganda. And that the tone and sound of my voice is part of even what makes you tune in to me or tune out. And I'm telling you this is important, and that must be propaganda. Why? Because it benefits me. And think about where that puts us in a world where we're saying that no one can tell you something constructive if it benefits the person that's telling you that. That's the world we live in, where we embrace slavery. When we embrace this victimhood, we end up with thoughts like that, which is why the ego is so important. Yes.
There you have it, folks. I just got placed in timeout for calling him out as a propagandist.